Hello everybody, today I'm going to demonstrate the shortcuts and tricks you need to know in Visual Studio Code, and let's get started. So I will be demonstrating using the Mac system with the layout of the Mac keyboard, but I will list the corresponding Windows shortcuts in the comment section as well as in the video. So let's get started. Okay, so now we land into a Visual Studio Code project. So before we start, I think one thing you better know is that you could just click here with the new window. You can open multiple windows in that way for multiple projects. So we are using shortcuts because we don't want our fingers to leave the keyboard. If you move back and forth from keyboard to mouse and your mouse cursor from corner to corner, so that will take a lot of time, several seconds maybe. If you do that motion for like 100 times, 50 times a day, you will probably lose several minutes. So that's why you need to keep your hands on the keyboard as long as possible. Okay, so the first command is we can use the command B to hide the sidebar, the left sidebar. If you want to open the right sidebar, you can use the option command B. And what's more, you can use the command J to open the bottom window. Of course, you can use these three buttons to do this, but as I said before, like those buttons, you need to move your mouse from your code region to the top corner, which is time consuming. That's the basic control for the major panels. And now let's delve into the navigation in the project and the navigation in each file. So the first command you should definitely know is the command P, so that you can, by pressing command P, you can search different files. For example, here are the open files. You can search some CSS. It will give you the CSS file. You can click on it to open that. We can also click the command P, and then you can search anything within this ai.ts tab or this document we are looking at. So you should know that each little box, the boxes are like variables. The purple cubes are like functions. So yeah, if I click on this function, this little orange icon looks like a tree, that is a class. So we can just click on it to guide to this definition. And what's more, another thing I found very interesting is whenever you like hover there, your cursor is here, and so right now our cursor is here. So on the top, it can just gives you the location you are at. For example, I can go to the constructor of the class grades_data just by using this navigation string. Let's open the palette using command P, and we can also use the pound symbol so that we can do a global search of the whole project. Besides searching, you can also use the command shift P to do some comments. I can just choose this toggle minimap and hit enter, so that the previous minimap on the right hand side is gone, is hidden, and I can just press command shift P to do that again, to toggle the minimap to bring it back over there, so that there is a very small image you can reference. So basically command shift P is just command P plus this greater than symbol for the command. There are many very useful commands, depends on what you are doing. For example, I can type Python to select the interpreter or the environment you want to use. If I hit enter, you can see I can just choose any Python environment for my project. Similarly, like if you're writing C++, you can use this command palette to compile your code. And finally, let's hit the command shift P again, and we can search shortcuts, and we can just click this open keyboard shortcuts. So here is a full list of all the key bindings for the shortcuts, their meaning. So you can just keep your key bindings as you wish. You can always press and hold your command key, and then you can click on anything you like. For example, the grades_data class. By clicking on it, I can click to view different places, and I can double click to navigate to that location. And if I want to go back to the definition, I will just still hold the command and click it again to go back to the class definition. You can use the command F to do a basic search. For example, here I searched parent, but you can also do a command shift F to do a global search. So that's too much about the navigation. Let's move to another section of using the arrows to navigate within one document. So the most basic one, as you know, you can just use your 4 arrow keys, up, down, left, and right. And you can just use command up. You can use the command up to get to the front of the document, and you can use the command down to go to the end line of the document. So you can also use the Control G to navigate to a specific line, say 100, and hit enter. So the cursor is now at 100th line. So within one line, we can go right or go left, but a better way is to hold your Option key so that you can go word by word, left or right. And if you want to go to the start of the line, hit Control A. If you want to go to the end of the line, hit Control E. We can always hold the Shift key if I want to select a large region. So for example, instead of Option right, I will use Option key right so that I can select the whole segment. For now, my cursor is on the word parent. If I want to select that, I can either double click it or I can hit the Command D. So if I hit the Command D for a second time, it will do a test query to select the next, etc. Right now you have like 4 cursors, so if I hit right arrow 1, so it will change several locations at once. We can use the Command Z if we don't want this. Let's press the Command Z to undo this edit. And sometimes if you want multiple cursors at once, we can hold the Option key, and just like that, we got 5 cursors. And we can write something like, write some comment, for example. So let's say we don't want this comment anymore. So what we can do, there are multiple ways. The first way is to hold the Shift Option left to select all the tasks and delete them. So let's undo that again. The second way is like, let's use Options to get to the front, and we can use the K to like truncate all these things to make it disappear, like that. Another thing we can do is if we in the middle of the line, we want to start a new line, instead of moving to the end and hit enter, we can just like use a Command Enter to start a new line. And let's talk more about editing. We all know that we can use like Control C, Control V from different places to make you a great programmer, but you should know that you can also do that here. I can just hit Control C without selecting anything. Here I use Control V. I can hit it multiple times to paste it. So I can hit Command X to cut it, and use the Command V to paste it in the line number we are at, like this. So if we want to bring back this parent, we can hold the Option key and use the up arrow to bring it back to the old location or any location you want. You can also do this for the 3 lines. Use Option like this. You can use the Option Shift to not only to move it but also to copy that, like that. And finally, like if we want to comment all this segment, we can always hit Command Divide to comment or uncomment. We can use a tab to tab it or Shift tab to untap it. If we want to change the class name, Visual Studio Code can track every time this class name is referenced or used. So which means you can just right click here and to find all references or rename the symbol. So if we rename it to Gray Status 1 and hit enter, you can see that it is changed all over the places. And we can just hit Command Z to undo that edit. And finally, for a programmer like me, we are just a Control C, Control V all over the places before the ChatGPT, especially through Stack Overflow. So that means we are browsing a lot of websites. No matter which browser you use, you can always like using the Control tab to navigate from right to left, like that. If I want to close this tab, I will hit Command W. I can hit it multiple times just to close all the tabs. And if I regret it, I don't want to close it, you don't need to go back to history, but you can hit the Command Shift T for multiple times to bring back the closed items. So for many applications, you can always use this, including VS. So in VS Code, I can always say Command W to close this. So it lets me to save. I will choose don't save. If I want to bring it back, I can just hit Command-Shift-T. We can also navigate it by holding your control button and hit tab. You keep pressing the control, but you can just hit the tab for multiple times. That's how it is designed. And that's it for today's demonstration. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.